Yo, what's up? I'm testing my audio right now, so give me a sec. All right, what's up with you guys? I hope you guys had a fantastic week. So far, a fantastic month. But we're gonna get straight into it, and we're gonna keep it nice, straight, and simple of what happened this week. All right, I'm not gonna go too much into DXY, but just to show you an example of what happened this week, right? So, and basically, starting the week, we're already bearish, right? As you can see that going to the daily time frame, you got higher high, higher low, higher high, and it came back and tied it here, right? So really, before the week started, we had some 15-minute distribution out of the 4-hour point of interest, which was absolutely beautiful, right? It showed an opportunity, right? You had higher high, higher low, break, and came back into this imbalance to distribute just a little bit more. But we're not talking about last week. We're going to be looking into this week, which, let's go to 4-hour and move this, right? So on the 4-hour, going to this week, we were already bearish, right? Starting on the 19th, going into the 20th, right? As you can see that we're creating lower lows and lower highs. As you can see, lower low, lower high, lower low. And, could identify this as your point of interest as well. And your imbalance, we're inside of here. But as soon as, London session popped off, which we'll get into right here, right? We create a new lower low, lower high, right? And you can see the price came back in the counter, breaking structure, which I'll go into detail. This is, Monday. Oh, sorry, guys. Throughout the week, we're already hop onto Wednesday, but we came up to here. As a matter of fact, let's do this just to show you guys. I think I skipped too far. Yep, I did skip too far. So Monday came in. It came into this imbalance here, as you see, it tapped in, which we'll go into detail here, and we'll get on to this trade right here that started on Wednesday, basically, right? You could have caught an opportunity, but I think Wednesday, we'll go into Wednesday. All right, so going back into here, as you can see, that structure was kind of like choppy a little bit. It went lower low, lower high, broke structure, higher high, higher low. You can pull out the line chart as well. And soon as that happened, right? So you see that structure went higher high, higher low, and it broke structure from right here and just continued on the downside. Right? Could I identify that? And no. But really, the clean play that happened, right? On Wednesday, right? You already seen that this was a 4-hour point of interest, that imbalance. We also had liquidity that was swept, right? Prior, let's see, right? We have multiple targets we can target, right? So really, going to here, you can see that the structure was bearish, right? We had lower low, lower high, and lower low, came back into this previous area of distribution, right, in the counter trend, which we're going to get into right now, right? So right here, as you can see, came back in the counter trend, right? So this beautiful thing right here, you can see that we got lower low, which I'll bring out the the brush right here. We had lower low, lower high, lower low, and you see price breaks, creating higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and it broke structure, right? So out of there, identify this break. Out of here, distribute onto the downside, right? So really overall, as y'all seen, price just pushed down and continued, right? So I'm not gonna stay on DXY too long. Let's move on. We had some beautiful accumulation below these lows, but really, potentially, right? Next week, currently looking at it, seeing that we did break structure, potentially might come back into this previous area, which I'll pay attention to right here. This last up candle prior to the expansion down to the downside, as well as this imbalance that's inside of here. I really want to see what happens when it comes inside of here, and I'll set alert because I might end up forgetting. Now we put inside area. Right, so moving on, right, and potentially, since the hour is bullish now, it might come back down to here, going down to lower time frame. I am currently looking at this previous area of last push down prior to the expansion. Also, I am currently looking at this imbalance that's close to the point of interest. If we get some type of accumulation here, we can take it up, and you can get some distribution here, take it down to the low. But that's my preference, going down into euro. Right, I didn't play too much of euro this week. Only played 2 plays a euro, I think. Yeah, only 2 plays. Okay, so in the beginning of the week, which I'll erase this, I'll show you guys what happened. It was amazing to me. Right. So in the beginning of the week, Monday, we were extremely bearish. Right, just opened up off of the daily time frame. Right, so here we show like accumulation, which it makes the most sense to accumulate to the upside because it accumulated down here. Now I'll go down to our time frame right here. As soon as it did this, push down and just started accumulating up. Beautiful play, not to the upside. But talking about this week, right, going into this week, we had some bearishness, right? So I identified this as my point of interest. But of course it got ran through. But before, right, we had some beautiful accumulation, lower low, lower high, low break, and it came back down to this area to reaccumulate out of that area. And going to Monday, we got some accumulation going on here, which I didn't play in this, to be honest. I didn't play any euro for the week because it's really just been accumulating. But you see, this is high, low, but really went lower low, lower high, lower low, and it's just blasted up, as you all seen on DXY. It just didn't show it never came back down to this area. So potentially it might just come back down over here just to reaccumulate outside this area, which I'm really interested in seeing. But right here is when I had a different perspective, when it was inside the point of interest, which here, right, it did show evidence. actually, looking at that a little bit completely differently now, right? We had higher high, higher low. Y'all gonna go over, we're gonna go over what I was looking at, but I think I took this because it was off of the 1 minute. Yeah. And I was in this trade prior to the close. Yeah, I can see that. All right, so yeah, that's the reason why I seen higher high, higher low, higher high break, and it came back down. It was kind of consolidating a lot, which I ended up forcing myself out. But in this case scenario, that was a bad choice of trade. I personally didn't want to continue buying, but in this case scenario, I guess lesson learned here, if it's still bullish and it decides to reaccumulate, right, it shows you right here, right, went lower low, lower high, lower low, break, came back and just to accumulate out to the upside. Considering how bearish the 4 was, I didn't take that into consideration. But in that case scenario, it makes the most sense because it was still bullish in a sense to continue on to the upside, and it showed reaccumulation by pushing up, right? So but if I can get to it, lagging out. All right, sweet. All right, so now come Monday, everything's just been accumulating. All right, Tuesday came, it was coming back down, accumulate again, create a new higher high. Now, and potentially, right, we could have played this. Now, I wasn't really paying attention to euros too much because I guess it just wasn't it for me to trade euro. But for sure, right, let's check it out. All right. So potentially you could have played this, and I'm currently looking at it now. Right, so really you got this last push down prior to expansion. You got the liquidity sweep before pushing up to the upside. Right, so it makes perfect sense. Oh, you got price break structure, and it shows you right here as well. Oh my goodness, wait. I was trying to show you guys before it happened, but it's beautiful actually. All right, and let me show you guys what happened here. Right, you may not be able to see it clearly, but it's clear as day. Right, so here, this was basically the beginning of the counter trend right here. Right, so as soon as the counter trend started, boom, just waiting for evidence of reaccumulation outside the point of interest, close to the point of interest, right? Came, really, I don't see any imbalances next to it. I'm going down to the lower time frame to check. Slight imbalance, but really no imbalances. Going up to the hour. Oh, I apologize, guys. Higher high, higher low. This is the last push down prior to the expansion. Right here. So when it did come into that point of interest inside the area, you see it came back in a counter trend right here. Right, what did it create? It was creating what? After it broke structure, came back, create a new lower low, lower high, blasted up, create a new higher high, showing evidence of reaccumulation. Right, so Could have followed this counter trend as well, right? So you could have followed it, played this here, seeing how it came back in the counter trend, which we will go into. I have not checked this trade actually, but showing that it reaccumulated. But before I move on to that, because I think I'm moving on too fast for you guys to realize, right? So here you got what, right? Counter trend to the downside inside the point of interest. Then you have the breaker structure, right? First thing you identify breaker structure, market structure, right? Then you identify the point of interest. Imbalances, which I currently do not see, might be on a lower time frame. Then you identify liquidity that was swept prior to the breaker structure, which you have right here. And then, of course, right, you have the higher high, higher low, came back down counter trend, which you could have played here. All right, just following this, creating lower low, lower high, lower low, break. You could either play this here, or matter of fact, seeing that it came back down to your area of reaccumulating there, right, you could have played this, putting your stop loss below these lows if you wanted to be a little bit aggressive, like right below this higher low right there. Or if you wanted to play like that, you could play like this, putting your stop loss below this low and targeting. Let's open up. Targeting is imbalance actually, which I did not even see. So if you were to target that imbalance, be 1 and 9, beautiful accumulation to the upside. And as you can see, if you held that trade to a new high before you started retracing, it would have been a 115. But overall, as right now, it's mainly the same. I am potentially looking for some reaccumulation below the lows, maybe come back up to these last consecutive candles inside this point of interest, possibly inside this imbalance, and distributing out of here out of this 4 hour. So I'll be looking for some distribution out of there. As of right now, I am looking for this push up back into here and do some damage, but that's EU. Now, GU, oh my goodness, you guys don't understand how many plays. Yeah, it was like kind of back to back with GU, as you can see. But GU today, I lost the trade. It was a good attempt. I was seeing like a 5-minute accumulation out of this 4 hour point of interest, but currently is this, it pushed down before accumulating. So I mean, I really wanted to target this imbalance, but yeah, it showed a lot of plays this week, as y'all can see, which we'll go over each one and show you why I play each one. I think this was my first play for GU. Yeah, so, but each play showed evidence. Now I'll show you why. All right, so let's erase all this. So GU. All right, so in the beginning, we were bullish, extremely bullish, came back into this area, and it was now just sitting. It was kind of like going back and forth. It was like multiple plays. So But beginning of the week, right, we had a higher high, higher low. Now over here, right, I had this last push down prior to the expansion. This is the point of interest, right? And then of course, if you go down to the lower time frame, there really was no imbalances, right? Swept kind of, it wasn't a huge liquidity sweep, but it swept prior to the expansion, which I'll be explaining here and here, right? So going into this trade, right, which I should just like I wish I recorded this, but it's fine. Now this trade was really nice, right? Now going into this area, right? So there's a reason why I took what I took, right? And off of the 5-minute, where were we? Right, lower low, lower high, low. Actually, what was it? Yes. So before that, right, it's currently looking at structure. Matter of fact, it was actually right here. Yep. So before, as you can see, the counter trend was starting, right? We had some structure going on here, higher high, higher low, higher high, broke structure, created lower low, lower high, lower low, London session open, and I entered right here, right? So reason why I entered, it wasn't a long-term trade because I kind of knew I was paying attention to the 4-hour, and I did not want to, take that risk on, doing long-term. And all I was targeting was this imbalance here, this beautiful imbalance that's by the point of interest, right? So all I did was that, and I just told myself, well, actually, let me change this real quick. But yeah, I told myself, well, yeah, I fell asleep on the trade. I just put my stop loss here, and I was like, it's gonna do what it's gonna do. So, when I woke up, it was like right there when it's moving right now, and yeah, it shows some beautiful accumulation here, out of that point of interest. After selling it down to the imbalance, I was just simply took my profit and just waited for price to show me evidence, right? It had lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, break. Soon as I seen that break, all I did was this, right? Now, me personally, I got out of GU because I didn't want to hold it over like the spread and get hit out. But overall, it got into the close, and then I closed out. But as you can see, right, this thing expanded like crazy. Like it expanded, right? So it was actually good week, with this GU. GU was just giving it, right? The trade right here as well, so which I will get into too. I'll break it down for GU because GU was giving it to me this week and GJ. Now, as you can see, after it accumulated, right, it created a higher high. This was actually, after creating a new higher high, you identify this as previous higher low. But I was paying attention to this area because, for one, it's the last push down prior to the expansion, and it it created new high. So really, this is where the bankers sold before breaking off, right? So they sold right here as well before pushing up, but it was a valid area, right? So I made that as my point of interest. And balance as well. But you can see that create new higher high, higher low. 15 shows a little bit more cleaner. And then if we were to go down to lower time frame, I'll show you exactly how I played this. There's a lot of trades. I might not even go over all of them, to be honest, just because of the fact if it, pushes. Let me close this. So really, right, we had, I think it was off for the 1 minute. Yes, it was. I'm not going to do that though, because it's too far. It's too far to trace it. What happened? Now we can go off for 1 minute. Oh my goodness. 1 second, y'all. I am trying to figure this out. Why it's not letting me do it? It's like taking me forever. All right, sweet. All right, so just to show you guys what happened inside of that area, as you can see, we had some nice build counter trend structure. We had lower low, lower high, lower low. We had a beautiful breaking structure, which we identified this as our previous higher low. And all we did was this, right? As soon as it came back into there, all we did was enter inside this little trade, putting our stop loss below the low right here, and it just did its thing, right? We held this thing to a new high. It gave it to us, and it was actually beautiful, right? So it went higher than expected, but no, it did do its thing. Now, just to show you guys, but how powerful just being patient and just waiting for the right time, the right answer, it's just super nice, right? So if we held this trade, we won a 9. If we held this trade, it'd be a 1 to 8. High percentages, right? Low risk, high reward, right? But beautiful distribution, beautiful accumulation right here, beautiful distribution above that. It did come touch that high right there. I really wanted to come a little bit higher than that, but just to show you guys how powerful this crap is, right? Which is why it kind of like distributed above the high, right? It came to a new high over the previous higher high, and right there it distributed, right? It went lower low, lower high, lower low, came up to a new high right here, and then guess what it did, right? It came back in a counter trend, which I'm going to show you guys as well. Right, so in this little counter trend, lower low, lower high, lower low, break, right? This little beautiful counter trend. So this came up to 5 minute high, it went higher high, higher low. I'll mark it for you guys. Higher high, higher low, and it broke structure, right? This was the area that you could have played. I didn't play it. I was still in the buy. Could have had played it right there, put your stop loss above the high, and it just did its thing, because then that was just an amazing trade. But yeah, overall, right now, I'm currently looking at this as a higher high. I'm going to erase all this. I'm clearing all my charts and putting out what I'm going to be looking for. But clearly, I am looking for a new higher high, personally for this one, right? You got our point of interest. We had our point of interest, and then we also had our imbalance right here. So right now I am looking for this GU to accumulate to a new high. I'm looking for GU to accumulate to a new high, and take out this area right here. So really wanting to take these highs, but as of right now, it did accumulate. That 5-minute broke structure, came back down, took me out, and then it just started pushing up just a little bit. But you know, market was close to closing, so really didn't do much. But next week I am for sure looking here to a new high, maybe show evidence during London session that which we can play, but looks like it's going to be hot for next week. GJ. Oh man, so there's a lot going on here, but the trade of the week was here, right? And I played this trade. I held it to right. Let's see where I held it. Actually, yeah, I held it to right here, and I sold out because I wanted to target this this area right here, this previous area of accumulation, just because you know, there was a lot of money there. But you know, after the fact, it just kept going. But the reason why I took that trade was because of the 4-hour, right? The 4-hour was extremely bearish. You can clearly see that, and you can see that it did create a new low beautifully, and it did take out this low beautifully, right? So I wish I held it. Could have trailed my stop loss, possibly just leave it at break even and secure profits. But I didn't really, I managed to trade okay, but I didn't manage too well. So I'll put that in future of next week and potentially look for something of that sense. But I'll go over this one trade because I feel like I'm taking a long time going over multiple trades. But so as you can see, this one particular trade that I'm going to go over, we had this point of interest, right? And we also had this imbalance, right? It was right inside of there, but it came inside of there. And as you can see, if you go up to that area, which I am gonna hit the replay button because I'm trying to get somewhere, right? So here, crazy enough, right? The trade shows some beautiful distribution. Higher high, higher low, higher high, break. And guess what? Yes, I did take that, right? So it was a low risk. It wasn't crazy. I think it was 0.5 because how clean, like short it was. It's almost like 1% basically, because how short and how close it is, right? So, but after the fact, I did enter that. I wanted to target this imbalance, right? I wanted to target these equal lows down here. There was multiple targets, right? And I wanted to actually target the 4-hour low, but overall, just like, man, like this trade went in our direction. It took a while to get up there, but like if we held that, guys, we're gonna hit a 140, just beautiful, just straight out the pocket. Great trade, great way to observe and acknowledge. But yes, it was a great trade. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. But right now, since we did create a new 4-hour low, I am looking for next week is to come back into the area of the previous area of distribution. I will patiently wait for that. It might distribute out here just because, you know, if we do our Fibonacci top to bottom, it is within the 50% of that area. So if it were to come into this area, so two areas I'm currently looking at, I will patiently wait for this, right? So if it showed me evidence inside of there, absolutely, I will take it, right? I will take this trade and wait to see what happens in there, right? Because it is above the 50% where most traders like to look at. But yeah, if not, and it just blasts through, I would love to look at this area of previous distribution. I mean, yeah, last push up prior to the previous distribution and see that thing, do its thing, But as of right now, let's see. Right now, it went lower low, lower high, lower low, broke structure, came back, tap in a little bit, and then now it's kind of accumulating to the upside. But I really do want to see it come into here. Maybe we get something beautiful out of there, get some nice distribution, play that to a new low, possibly come back all the way into here because there is an imbalance up here, and play to a new low or play to a certain ratio. But beautiful. Those are the two that I'm looking at, and I will leave it so it's a reminder for me. I'll probably look at it on come Sunday. This Sunday, I will look at it and see if we can get some nice distribution out of here. I'll set alert for that. Gold. I played gold this week a couple times, but first time I got knocked out right here because I wanted to sell gold. All right. I'll go over one trade, right? And actually it'll be today's trade. So right now, this thing has been pushing like extremely hard. Like, I don't know why, but it's just wanting to do its thing, to be honest. But it's either daily, create a higher high, higher low, just to show you guys higher high, higher low, higher high, or the overall daily. But as of right now, we did break structure on a 4-hour. So we might get a counter trend back into this imbalance just to see it accumulate out of there. So beautiful. Oh, just by the way, I won't be going over US 30 because I don't retreat. I haven't been trading US 30. I'm gonna remove this because I have not been trading US 30 unless I started trading it. But as of right now, so we're looking at this 4-hour. Right, it came up high, high, low, high, and it broke structure, came back in a counter trend, played this play here, but it just accumulated to the upside, creating a higher high, new higher high overall. Matter of fact, yes, it surely did. So really, structure is higher high and higher low. So getting a distribution above the highs made the most sense, right? Which we did get some distribution above these highs, right? It went higher high, higher low, higher high, break. It came back. As a matter of fact, I think the 5 minutes is a little bit more cleaner. Just because, yeah, it was cleaner, right? It broke structure, came back inside that previous area distribution, creating higher high, higher low, higher high, and it broke structure right here. Now I did not play this, but I played this. When it created a higher high, lower low or high, I played this right here, right? Selling down to a new low. When I look back at it, it was just sitting here, and I sold out from right here. So very beautiful trade. As of right now, I am looking for this 4-hour, right? So if we go down into here, you can clearly see this beautiful imbalance, right? We already know that we are extremely bullish right now, and we already know that the structure is there, right? So I am potentially looking for to come down to this imbalance, but we can probably play while it's going down to the downside, little plays here and there. I personally don't like to play against the counter trend too much. If it looks clean to me, like whatever looks the cleanest to me, going down to the downside, I'll play it. But as of right now, nah. But I would be, if it shows like 15-minute distribution, like something like this, I'll draw it for y'all, right? So since it did accumulate just a little bit, I'm not going to play that just because it accumulated. I like to play it out inside the imbalance. I like to play close to the imbalance. That's by the point of interest. I avoid trying to play in the middle, right? I despise the middle. I avoid it. But as of right now, I would be looking for something like this, right? So if it accumulates like above, like away from our point of interest, I'll wait for some type of distribution above it, and then I'll play this here. So if something happens like that here, it's like seeing how it accumulated, and if it goes like this and comes back, I'll play this short, and I'll only play it into this imbalance, right? Only if it shows me evidence, right, for a continuation. But that is gold. That is gold, right? But last but not least, my favorite one. My favorite one, which played out beautifully this week, right? There was some multiple plays. I don't even know which one to go over. Oh man, yeah, that was a beautiful play here. It was I believe it was a 5-minute distribution or a 1-minute distribution. Yeah, it was a 1-minute distribution, and it came back down, hitting this. But I am simply going to go over what I was looking at, right? So right now, right, I'm gonna simply go over what I'm expecting and what I was looking at and see what happens, right? So currently we had a higher high, higher low, right? We had the 1 hour. The 1 hour came back in a counter trend, breaking structure, creating lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, finally breaking, which now, since I'm going over it, I'm going to be looking at this a little bit different next week. But just to show you guys, we already know that is currently bullish, right, on the 4 hour. And we know that this is our last push down prior to the expansion. So simply, I was paying attention and I saw this. I saw lower low. I'm gonna get around bush instead. I seen lower low, lower high. I think this was my lower low down here. Yep, it was lower low. No. Yeah, sorry guys. This is lower low, lower high, lower low, and a broke structure right here. Beautiful breaker structure. It showed, and all I did was wait. Now I seen something in here which was beautiful, but I didn't have the chance to play it. So what I did was I just went down to a lower time frame to see what counter trend we had, right? So we had a counter trend. You can see lower low, lower high, lower low, break, and it could have played it right there. But personally, I did not. So instead, right, I played this, create a higher high, higher low. I played this area, previous area of accumulation prior to the expansion. So I made this as my point of interest. Very simple. I made this as my previous area accumulation, and I snipe, right? And after sniping, identify everything that needs to be identified, I simply just snipe. So right here, sniped it, put my stop loss literally like right underneath this wick. Right, so after identifying those items, that I target this right here. So right here, I target this area. So as you can see, I target here. Now, right here, I just target this little high right here, and it went to 1 to 12. Just very, very simple. But yeah, NAS was absolutely, oh, I don't know what to say. But now, just to show you guys what I just saw and identified, right? Keeping it short and simple, keeping it nice and straight, right? We actually broke structure. So now, since we broke structure, all I'm going to be doing is waiting for price to come back into this point of interest, previous area of accumulation. Let's push on prior to expansion. Let's see if it has any balance. Everything's pretty balanced, but I would love to see it come back down to here and to accumulate to the upside, just because getting some nice distribution above the highs, which I'm not going to play. I'll just rather wait for something inside of here and accumulate to the upside, create a new higher high, which we'll be targeting here, find some nice tight stop loss, targeting a new high, and trading out the week, right? So really just looking for the long run right now for a NAS, but right now it's looking pretty good. Might distribute out here before pushing down to this point of interest and then accumulate to the upside possibly. But as of right now, that's all I got for y'all. If y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to contact me. Don't be afraid to not contact me, because I'm here. So, but yes, it was a great week. It was great. Yeah, your boy just recently just making it happen. I'm gonna take it a little slow, take it each week, look at and trade accordingly. So thank you for watching, and I appreciate your time, just taking the time out your day to watch. So I just want to say, right? Oh my goodness, it's all caps. I just want to say thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I don't understand, but yeah, peace out, y'all. Y'all can rewatch this if y'all want. This is for y'all. You know what I see. I'm not going to be doing this too much, but I'm glad that you're able to learn. So peace out.